Is your business protected against the threat of malicious litigation and frivolous lawsuits? Are you sinking company profits into marketing campaigns that do nothing to contribute to the growth of your business? Bottled Business Sense provides practical business perspectives that uniquely emphasize both legal and media marketing strategies to protect and ensure the longevity of your business. Now, whether you're trying to provide a startup business with some level of stability or an established business with foolproof asset and estate protection, or simply attempting to get a better return for your business marketing dollars, Bill Bernard and Rick Moscoso will expose potential pitfalls to ensure the security and growth of your business, free from unwanted expense and the threat of litigation. You'll learn how to implement marketing and protection tools equal to those used by today's most successful corporations. Let's join Bill and Rick for today's Bottled Business Sense show.
Well, good morning, everybody. Here we are for another episode of Bottled Business Sense show from our BBSS studios here in Southern California. I'm Bill Bernard, one of your co-hosts, and I'm here with my good friend Rick Moscoso.
How you doing, Bill?
All right, Rick. We have a fantastic topic today that picks up on what Rick spoke about the last time. He gave us all a rundown of what we need to have in our possession in order to do some video marketing. Again, I want to emphasize, Rick spoke earlier, a couple shows ago, about a DIY, a do-it-yourself video marketing campaign that involves certain equipment that you need to purchase. Obviously, the further we take this and the more you get to know about Rick and understand what he can do for you, that will obviate the need necessarily for some of the equipment, depending on what scale you want to take it to. But having said that, we're now going to talk about today, Rick, I believe, a combination of ideas that you provide your clients along with the equipment that we've now already talked about in a couple shows back. And if I understand correctly, what we were talking about off camera here, you were originally telling me that there is a general overall premise of why someone is going to take upon themselves a particular marketing campaign, right? That's a key ingredient?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's the most important part in formulating this. So
how does somebody define the why? In other words, if somebody was to say to you, Rick, what do you mean by why? What does that mean?
Well, let me back up just for a second and kind of frame this whole topic, because us as salespeople, and even if you don't think you're a salesperson, right? When you're talking about your business, you're selling your product or service, and it's very easy and it comes very naturally for an individual to talk about the features and benefits, right, of your product or your service. It's very, very easy, and a lot of times you may find yourself getting lost in that as far as overselling the features and benefits, and then you get this glossy-eyed look from the client because there's way too many things and you sound like everybody else.
So in other words, you're too busy giving him a resume. Right,
yeah, a resume, a rundown, and believe me, I made this mistake early on in my career where I overpitched my features and benefits of what I did, or whether it was a company that I had been selling for. And I quickly found that in order to change that and make it more interesting, you really had to add one very simple ingredient, but it's the most difficult one, and that's really the why. And the why is the why you do what you do. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to sell your product or service to somebody, and you're trying to get them to believe what you believe, right, and they believe something else, then it doesn't matter how good your widget is, they're not going to buy into it.
Well, let me ask you this, Rick. I don't know if this is on anybody else's mind, but it's certainly on mine. If I call you up and I say, Rick, I want you to do a marketing campaign for me. I want you to come over here and utilize all of your skills and expertise and work in that camera and work in that video and whatever else, audio that I need to make this thing look great. What do you mean telling me what the why is? I mean, I know what the why is, don't I? I know why I want you to come over here to pitch my business. do you find that people that you get over to someone's place of business and they really don't know the why, even though they may think so?
Well, it's probably the hardest part or hardest question to answer, the why. And the why may not be because I want to create this video to put on YouTube to pitch my widget, right? Mm-hmm. That's not the why. What people are interested in and will engage in is the why you do what you do. Okay, it's almost an opportunity to tell a story, because people love stories, to emotionalize why you do what you do, right?
So in other words, Rick, you're working for lawyers, let's say, where lawyers retain you. Everybody knows that lawyers deal with legal issues, but you're trying to ascertain why lawyer A is different from lawyer B, from lawyer C, from lawyer D, right? What is particularly unique about each of them that would make a customer or a client want to come to one versus the other?
Yeah, I mean, I have customers all the time that come to me, and they want to do a why hire me video, that type of video,
okay,
to help promote their product or service, and they don't know they don't know where to start. And so I have a series of questions that will help me discover their why, right? Mm-hmm. And help prompt them to help them better understand why they do what they do. They may think they know they may think they know, but a lot of times they don't know because they've never thought of it before, right? And so I go through a series of questions, and we may not even figure that out in the first discussion. It may take a while because now I'm asking them to think about something they haven't thought about before. But if I would come to attorney A or client A, and then later in the afternoon talk to somebody very similar in the same industry that afternoon, we could have two totally different types of storytelling productions based on their why. And so what I do is I really customize the whole planning process or pre-production process around each individual's why, or their overall story of what they're trying to accomplish, number one, and why they do what they do. Because I think that's very important to be able to do that, to engage with their target market. Because otherwise, if you're not doing something like that, you're pitching just like everybody else, and if they're watching a video production, they'll quickly turn it off because you sound like everybody else, you know.
So, in the video production that you provide, would you say that there's going to be a lot of the personality of the client that's incorporated into that video, and/or is it going to also encompass what makes them unique? In other words, if I'm going to somebody to, let's take a simple example. I need a plumber to fix a drain in my house. Why do I choose one plumber over the other, right? Mm-hmm. What makes one plumber more unique or better qualified, or something that's going to strike a chord in me that's going to make me choose one guy versus another?
Well, that all depends on the person that's looking, right? He may just need somebody quick and fast and somebody at the cheapest price, regardless of quality, because you really don't know the quality unless they're coming from a strong referral, mm-hmm. right? Or somebody that knows mm-hmm. them. So I did a video production for a plumber not too long ago, and he was trying to differentiate himself. And so we went on set. He brought his sons. They were actually extras in the background. And we helped tell a story about his family business by integrating them into the video, and not so much talking about, this is the wrench that I use, these are the pipe cutters that we stayed away from the features and benefits and really tried to center it around his character. This certain individual was a little bit introverted, so it was a little bit more challenging. But at the end of the day, we made him feel safe, very credible. Definitely was a family business because we had integrated his two sons in there. And now, if you if I were to tell you who this guy is, and you looked at his Yelp page, uh-huh. He has nothing but 5 stars. Because of this. And for him, he wanted to create a piece that if you come to me once, you're going to come to me for life, mm-hmm. And that's kind of the aura that he wanted to create with this production that I was able to help him with.
Fantastic. Well, let's take a brief commercial break before we get back into this, because I have I'm loaded with questions on this topic. We talked a little bit about R2 Visual Studios in terms of its video marketing. I think I always like to distinguish R2 by saying that it's a video and photography business, but it really has as its backbone the premise that we're going to market you, whether it's a photograph in a wedding being marketed to relatives or friends, or a video that's being marketed to other business people within the community. That's really the backbone of R2.
Yeah, I mean, I come from a very extensive marketing background in the medical industry. I've been in sales and marketing for over almost 25 years. And really, if I've learned anything, that's exactly it, is how do you market the client so they keep coming back to you, right? It's not about me. It's about how they see themselves to their friends and family and to their clients. So regardless if it's a wedding, an actor's headshot, a family portrait, or even on the commercial side, doing a video or just professional headshots, I always try and keep that in mind to what's the best way to market that end product for that client, so they end up feeling good about themselves.
Right.
They look good on camera or on film, and they're more apt to promote what I've done for
sometimes them. You're marketing it to the person who's retaining you, right?
Oh,
you're taking a photo of them, maybe that's going to make them feel great about what they're looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. And in case in point, we also do real estate photography and videography. We do cinematic tours of the house.
Right,
and
I remember.
That's one of the things that we try and do differently. To take a photo of the house is very important to do it in a way that's magazine style. I mean, for us, magazine style, that's very impactful, because a lot of times when buyers come and look at a property, long before they even call an agent, they're going to look online. And if we wow them online with beautiful photography of that particular listing, then man, can you imagine what kind of traffic that real estate agent's going to get?
Sure.
And so that's part of our marketing goal, is to make it look really good, create the traffic that we, as much traffic as we can for the open house listing, and create a video production. Maybe it's a walkthrough of the video, integrate the agent into that, so now there's a connection with the viewer with that agent, so they're more credible. It's more of a engaging type of video, and
everybody's happy.
Yeah, everyone's happy.
Well, we'll get to, near the end of the program, we'll get to some information on how R2 can be contacted. But let's get back into our discussion about the why, the what, and the how. And I know that I know you separate them out. I tend to think of them, and of course I'm not a marketing guru such as yourself, but I tend to think of these things as all rolled into one. When you approach a client, Rick, do you spell out the why, the how, and the what, or do you approach it as one overall idea that involves all of those things?
Yeah, I approach it as one overall idea, and it's important that I integrate the why, because then it may give them a better or a different perspective on the how and the what, right? What's their unique selling proposition? What differentiates them from the competition? As a result of my service to them, how are they going to benefit? So it's really an overall look on what they do, and how that tells me how I should help them market their product or service best.
Well,
right?
when you, for example, when you talk about talking to or interviewing a client, and you want to know what distinguishes them from their competition, what is it you look for, or how do you approach something like that? In other words, what if you come across somebody who can't seem to come up with any idea about what's unique about him or her? What do you do then?
Yeah, well, punt. No, I try and find something in the form of here's where a really good a good tool and that I use all the time is a testimonial. whether it's written or in video form. I like to ask the client, if I'm doing a production for them, is there somebody that I can shoot a testimonial of that I can integrate into your video, your Why Hire Me video, or your whatever production it is. And I tell you, by including a customer testimonial in your pitch, so to speak, right, it adds so much more credibility, so much more value to what you're trying to promote to the audience, that without some sort of testimonial incorporated into your video, you're really selling yourself short. I mean, unless you're starting off, and even if you're starting off for the very first time, there's somebody out there who's had some kind of experience with you. Now, it may not be in the business that you're in if you're new, but if it was just a matter of you mowed their lawn, right,
well,
or you did something like that.
You're looking for, if I'm reading you correctly, it sounds like you're saying you're looking for success stories. Those success stories might come in the way of a testimonial, maybe past successes in business, and they tell you exactly how they did it and how they went about it. And now you're picking up from these interviews various features about them that maybe they didn't know up front, but now through this exploratory process, you're gaining more of an idea as to what's unique about them.
Yeah, and here's the beauty behind that is that
the thing is, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's the marketing part as well, right? Because this involves more than just somebody who's amazingly capable, such as yourself, and able to operate a camera and video equipment. This is the exploratory part that requires somebody who has some knowledge about marketing, so they can combine the tools that they have with the features that the client is going to present to them, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're in a trade or something like that, and you are the type of person that takes advantage of Yelp, that's really good. I just recently got my house painted, and this individual has nothing but 5 stars reviews on Yelp, which is great. And he's asked me to do a video production for him, a Why Hire Me video for him. And so we've done some of the initial videography for him.
Right.
And I am going to be filming the testimonial portions of it.
Right.
Because what better way to talk about you by not talking about yourself, right? Let a happy customer talk about you.
Right.
And it's more credible. Right?
Right.
And it's more believable.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. I know. Listen, it all makes sense. But what is this? How does this? I've heard so many people talk about this that now you've done your exploratory interview. You've kind of assessed the nature of who you're dealing with, and now you've got your equipment all set up. You're ready to go. What is this phrase that everybody seems to refer to all the time called the call to action, and why do you need something like that, or do you need something like that?
Yeah, well, I would recommend it for any video that you're doing, whether it's educational or a professional about me type of video or a Why Hire Me video. Call to action is very important at the end of the video, because you want to lead the customer or the client, the viewer. You want to be able to tell them, okay, I like you. You seem like somebody I can trust on the video. What's the next step? And it gives you as a business owner who we're doing the video for to direct them and kind of lay a trail to what you want them to do next. And it could be as simple as just to call you, come to your website. If you have free information that you want to provide to them in a form of a report that's online, then it could be an opt-in where if you want to receive this free report, just leave your name and email, and I'll send it to you, that sort of thing. So the purpose of a call to action is to clearly let the customer know or the viewer know what the next step is.
Well, do you suggest in this process you go through with your clients, do you suggest call to action to them, or do you let them come up with it, or do you is there a process that you go through and able to enable yourself to pinpoint that call to action?
Yeah, I'll ask them what type of freebies they can provide. And it doesn't have to be of anything monetary value. It really doesn't have to be anything like that. It could be something that's a free report, something that doesn't cost you anything to create. It could be a coupon for a certain product, something that is perceived as high value but doesn't cost you anything really to give away.
And we're talking about tangible things, but what about, is there such a thing as a call to action that strikes a chord with a person's emotions, that may want to get them involved with this client you're working with, especially when it's visualized on a video? In other words, can you have a call to action that for example, would you let me give you an example. In addition to what I do, I try to teach law students where I teach at school. I try to give them some bar preparation, and one of the things I try to get them interested in is to understand. Hey, don't take the bar several times. Be the one to pass the bar the very first time, and here's how you do it. I'm paraphrasing, but there's an emotional chord right there. That's. Read what I have to say, but there's a call to action. Do you want to be one of the people that have to take the bar exam 3, 4, 5 times? So is that something that you deal with as well? Some emotional call to action.
I think you'll get the best result if you tie it into some emotional pain, so to speak, right? And if through our discovery process, if there's something there, a solution that you can provide that no one can do without, then I would bring that out in the call to action at the end, when you're asking them to do something, right? And so, the more emotional it is, the more likely they are to convert and leave their name and email for you, so you can continue to market to them, right? So it's extremely important. And again, people don't think about the emotional side, but it's really what strikes a chord with most viewers. Trying to, most problems that people have out there are emotionally based.
Well, I think that's so important, Rick, because when I've told people for years that one of the people will try to find ways of do I really need a living trust? Do I need an estate plan, for example? And they'd rather go out and spend the money on a big screen TV than to go get an estate plan, right? Because emotionally they want that TV, not what they really need, which is the estate plan. So I think in this call to action concept that we've been discussing, that's really what you're doing. You're trying to, in effect, tie in what people need. You're trying to tie it to that emotional decision that they would normally make, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the more we can do that, then the more likely we are to get a call from that viewer. And so we do that all the time when we sit down with a client and go through this framework of the why, how, and what. That will help us determine what's the best emotional hook that we can have at the end to lead them to the next step.
Wonderful. I think as we begin to wrap up the program, I want to kind of give folks out there an idea where they can go to see some of Rick's work. I know he's a plethora of information. All you got to do is call him and he'll tell you as well. But go look at the videos he's done on my sites. He's actually done videos on websites for me: protectyourestate365.com, business asset protection 365.com, wfblegalconsulting.com, Best Bar Review, that's BAR, bestbarreview.com, and bestlegaladvisor.com. All of those videos have the ingredients that Rick has been speaking about here today, and I would urge you to go take a look at those for yourself and combine it with what he's talked about here today, and I think you get a great benefit out of doing that. As we wrap up, Rick, let's tell everybody where we can be contacted if they're interested either in coming on the show and applying to be a guest, or if they just simply have some questions they want addressed on the show.
Sure. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, we'd be happy to entertain you. And we have a questionnaire that we can send out to you, but you can send any inquiries into bottledbusinesssense@gmail.com. You can also reach us on social media, on Facebook and LinkedIn at bottledbusinesssenseshow.com, and Twitter, bbsenseshow.com. Again, on email, I think I might have said that incorrectly, but on email, if you have any questions or would like to be a guest, it's bottledbusinesssenseshow@gmail.com.
Yes, and they can see us right on our website by clicking a button and watching the show there, right?
Yep, you'll be able to watch the show. There's a download for the audio if you're on the go, and then in the near future, we'll also have this available on podcast.
Okay, and before we say anything about next week's show, I want to put in a little plug here for a mutual friend of ours. Rick and I we like timepieces. We're really into watches, and we purchase watches wholesale. We don't buy watches retail, do we, Rick?
No, absolutely.
Go take a gander at a great website called worldofwatches.com. It's called WOW for short, but worldofwatches.com. You'll get a great selection of beautiful timepieces, all the way from high-end down to basic everyday watches. Prices ranging from the $60 price range all the way up to Panerais in the close to $20,000, to tourbillon movements in the $40,000 and $50,000 range. In any event, go check it out. It's a great website hosted by some great people, and we think you'll love it. And make great gift ideas for graduation, Father's Day, Christmas, and the like.
Now they have a show too, right? That we can watch a broadcast. When do they broadcast?
They broadcast every Pacific time, every Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. 3 hours each day. Mm-hmm. Yep, and that is on channel 227 DirecTV, or you can go to their website and click on their icon and watch them live on the web. Take a gander at that. We think you really like it. Next week.
Yeah, what are we talking about next week?
We're going to talk about how to keep your company running so it stays an entity. You might remember a few weeks back we talked about why you should have an entity. I spoke next about what various types of entities there are to choose from and why you should see a lawyer and accountant to make that decision. Now we're going to assume you've chosen an entity. What are some of the basics that you need to do to keep it up and running so you don't have it destroyed inadvertently and lose the protection that it's intended to provide? So we're looking forward to that next week.
All right. Excellent, Bill.
So I think we're good to go. We told them where they can contact us. We told them about next week's show. We've told them about timepieces. I think they've got everything they need, right?
Absolutely. Just we look forward to seeing you again next week. Bill, any other closing thoughts?
No, just we hope, folks, sincerely that you're getting benefit out of this. Our idea is to wet your beak, is to hold a carrot out there so you can get a flavor, a taste for what we want to do from a marketing and protection standpoint. So that you can feel more comfortable calling in and saying, you know what, I've been thinking about this. Can you give us an idea of how to move forward, what it would cost, what it would entail, and if for nothing else, to make sure that your business carries on in a healthy manner going forward. That's really what we're here for. So we look forward to seeing you next week. Signing off, I'm Bill Bernard of WFB Legal Consulting Incorporated.
And I'm Rick Moscoso with R2 Visual Studios. And we look forward to seeing you in our next show next week.
Take care, everybody.